rear steering. Yep, that was a nice tight turning radius. Yeah, thank you for that, motor.
Hey everyone, Rick from European Motors here. I'm here with
Big P, Salty P, Paul Patterson. We are in a 991.1 Porsche GT3 RS. If you already know, it's a naturally aspirated 4.0 rear-wheel drive 911. We've got the PDK transmission here. A lot of people lament the absence of a manual, but oh well, sucks for them.
Yeah, I've been driving this for a while now, and I'm getting ready to give it back. And I love the PDK. Like, I know people on the internet were like really excited about it, and oh, PDK is awesome and all that. And when you drive it, you know what they mean. This PDK is specifically made for this car. I don't know if you know that. The Carrera, the Targa, and so forth, they kind of use the same one, but this one is specifically for this car to handle the power and just what you need to do with this car. So it's really cool, very quick, seamless.
Yeah, for all the hashtag save the manuals people, I get your point. I drive manual myself. I like 3 pedals, but there's just something. I've driven a Targa 4S recently on the track, beautiful car. The PDK, it's a really quick transmission. It's very intuitive actually. No need to really use the flappy paddles at all. Track times, you know, they always say it's, you know, faster than the manual cars. But all in all, it's a very elegant gearbox, if you ask me, and definitely, you know, worth it if you can get your hands on it.
Hold on, this thing has a front lift kit, and I need to use that over bumps, and we're over a bumpy little area here. We'll open it up in a little bit, and you'll be able to just hear the PDK, how the gear shifts go in. Like, it's really crazy how quick they go in.
Yeah, the PDK really does a good job of just bringing out all of the available power of this car. At least in the Targa 4S, it was a 991.2, so that's what I was thinking, .2, but had the new turbo in it, very torquey engine, and again, it just really contributed to just the overall connected feel of the 911s. You know, the older ones you have to wind them out a little more to get the power. This one's the 4.0, so again, it's got the nice torque, especially for the lightweight of the car, but it's definitely not turbo level, so don't get that low end feel.
Yeah, it's definitely a quick car, 0 to 60 in about 3.1. So you definitely get the speed, but it's not gut-wrenching speed. I think, remember we were in the Aventador last year?
Yes.
The Aventador was like...
That's 60 and under 3. That's 60 and like 2.8-ish.
Yeah. And so you may think those little numbers don't make a difference, you know, 0.3 doesn't make a difference. No, your body feels that. And it's really apparent. I'm not saying this car isn't fast. This car flies. Like, this car is... I mean, it's the fastest naturally aspirated 911 that... Like ever. That's on the road ever. I mean, now the 991.2 came out. It's not on the road yet, but that's going to obviously be faster than this. But this car is nuts.
What really gets me about the 911 body Porsches is it's a supremely capable track car, very popular if you go to track days. A lot of you probably think, oh, people buy Porsches, they'll never track them or anything like that. And if you go to a dedicated Porsche event, you will see GT3 RSs all over the place. You'll see built Carreras, built Boxsters and Caymans even. Like, these are truly capable machines that people do take out and enjoy. What I was on about though is they're supremely capable cars, but they're also quite comfortable too. You would think, for what I've seen this car do on the track, that the ride would just beat up your insides and just rattle your teeth, and it's a very comfortable car for, I'd say, more so than the Aventador was.
Oh yeah.
Much better ride quality.
The Aventador is like a monster on a chain, and you have to constantly pull on that chain, and it's always growling. And this car, I think mostly anyone can drive this car, meaning like you can get into it and just know that there's a lot of power and you'll be okay, for the most part, unless you go crazy. But it is, I could daily drive this. Yeah,
the thing about the Porsches is they're very docile when you drive them just like normal cars, and they unleash that other personality when you really push them.
Now I've been pretty docile, but I'll do a little bit of a hit here, and I can show you that it just opens up, the exhaust opens up. I have it in the loudest exhaust setting right now. So
what I'll also comment on are the seats in this car. You'll probably notice they're carbon fiber frame, fixed position seats, so no recline. You could move them fore and aft. But they're very supportive. I'm not a large frame guy, obviously, but I don't feel overly constrained in these seats. Series that power is very, very smooth on the power. Again, not neck snapping, just very smooth, and it comes on progressively. But back to the seats, you know, they're pleasantly plush. They're, you know, not rock hard. You won't feel fatigued after a while of being in these seats. And the 911s, again, just have a lot of stretch out room. I'm good on headroom here. It's not a nice, and I'm a 6-footer. So that's really kind of saying a lot. It's a really spacious car for what it is.
And what would you say, Paul, like your first impressions of the car? Like just seeing it in the purple and just that big wing in the back, like what were your thoughts?
Well, you know, we are in LA, Laker Nation. You know, the purple, actually in purple and yellow, again, notwithstanding, it's a very nice combo. It just kind of has this unique personality you don't really get with other cars, especially the details. Like you'll see the cage, the stitching on the seats and the dash, the grab handles here. Porsche really, they're good with attention to detail. That's what I've really appreciated about them recently.
And if you notice, these seats are actually the 918 seats, the same seats, and they're awesome. I like them. They're a little stiff. I don't know if I do a 6-hour drive in them, but for short drives, they're fine. I've driven this most of today, and I'm fine. I have no back aches or anything.
Yeah, and I just came out of a Jaguar, so you know I'm coming out of a plush limousine-like car and into these seats, and you know, again, I'm good on space. They're comfortable. It's just it's apples and oranges. It's a totally different animal here.
One of the things I really like is just the engagement of the paddles when the gear goes in, and you hear it just like, it's almost like a button on your remote. You hit it and it goes, you hit it and it goes. There's also a cool feature when you're in manual mode, and like I'm doing right now, and I decide to talk or I'm not shifting, it'll automatically quickly notice that and go into drive. So it'll do the shifts for you until I get back into it. It's just like, it's on it, it's on it.
And the nice thing about the PDK, even in a track environment, is the PDK in the track environment, it's a very intuitive transmission. So you won't even really need to use the paddles. You'll find if you just sort of leave it in drive, you have all the sport settings. I've driven a Sport Chrono, and it will read like your throttle inputs, what the body's doing. If you're in the middle of a turn, it won't shift in the middle of a turn. That would be disastrous. So it's just a very, very smartly designed gearbox here.
It is smarter than me. It is smarter than pretty much anyone. We've seen guys like Chris Harris even say that it is smarter than him. The car knows when to shift quicker, and it can make better decisions than you. We've gotten to that point. And so, not to say that it's nice to drive it in automatic, it is, but it's nice to engage it as well. Yeah. Put it in the manual mode. It's just preference. And you got the best of both worlds. You got the 7th gear that's really good for cruising, and then when you want to put it down, just either step on the gas or, you know, blip the paddle a little bit. You're good. Look at that plane.
Yeah. Nice 757. I wonder if anyone's done a video of one of these going against the Jet. We've seen the Bugatti. I think we've seen the McLaren against the Jet, like in the runway race.
Just to see how far they can go.
Yeah, well, maybe call up some of our flying buddies, see if we can arrange such a thing.
Get a runway for like 10-20 minutes. Hijack a runway.
There you go. Well, I don't know if I like the word hijack, but but what's nice about this car, I mean, it gets attention to an extent, but it's certainly not as attention grabbing. Doesn't make you as uncomfortable as the Lamborghini. You know, people see a Porsche 911, they think, oh, it's a dentist car. Right. You know, your physician's driving it. Where when you're in a Lambo, people want to know who's in that car. Oh yeah. My God!
It's Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Or
well,
Paul.
no,
Paul.
Dear God, no. I don't want to be famous, but you know, it's a fun car. It's a stylish, beautiful car, but it's not as attention grabbing as, you know, something as outlandish as a Lambo.
It's got really nice, like the exhaust has all these melodies. It's not just one sound. You get different levels of sound, which is really nice. The different layers. It's very layered. And so it's really nice to hear to the ear and to think that it's a flat 6. All right, tunnel time.
Tunnel time. Turn up the volume.
Headphones.
Hear those carbon brakes too. Yes, Mini Cooper.
What was that guy doing?
I don't know. It's super mini.
That is hilarious.
It's not even the Cooper. I think it's like the Countryman, like the little the SUV one.
That was
funny.
Because he was like on us.
Yeah, I love. He opened it up and then he went, "Ooh, I'm out of here. I'm done." That was cool.
Literally got off.
He wanted to hear you sing. That's all. He wanted a little song.
That was amazing. Oh my gosh. F3.
V8 M3.
Yeah. That was a rush because I couldn't tell from the lights what it was.
Yeah.
It kind of
I thought it was another Porsche for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, because he must have put it in like second or first.
That
right
dark tunnel. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was funny. So what'd you think of that? Better sound or Aventor or better sound?
You know, beauty comes in many different flavors, right?
It's just different.
It's just different. The naturally aspirated flat 6. I'm very
gorgeous,
Porsche. Porsche USA. Thank you for keeping it for us.
Rear steering?
Rear steering, yep. That was a nice tight turning radius. Yes, thank you for that motor. And you know, a lot of people lament the new Turbo 6 in the Carreras and the S's. It's not as loud and visceral as this one, but it definitely still has that flat 6 sound. Like they know how to engineer a good sound into these cars. I don't know, does this one, correct me if I'm wrong, does it have the piping through the speakers into this car?
No, I don't believe so. No, none of that nonsense.
All motor.
Sorry, BMW.
All motor.
I'm a BMW guy, but yeah. Sorry, BMW. Alright, another tunnel. Whoa. That one looks too clear.
That's a little clear.
I don't like that.
Keep that foot light. Just make some music here before that bike comes after you. Just a little bit, not too much.
Still fun.
Kind of get that sort of on-off switch, sort of personality of the Porsches, really. Sort of it's docile. I won't call it a cruiser by any means, but definitely just a docile sports car versus all-out furious supercar.
So all in all, if they cost the same, the Aventador or the GT3 RS, which one would you go? You have to choose one. Let's make price not an issue. I know it could be, but you
forget price. I mean, so we're talking two different types of cars. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I'm an intro. I am not crazy about the attention. I will definitely track my car if I had a car like this. I'd go for the Porsche. The Lambo is nice. It's a pretty car. It's well built. Another VW product, basically, but I'd go for the Porsche. I think it just does a little more for me with what I would do with the supercar.
Cool. If you have to ask me, I love this car. If I had 225 to 230 grand, I'd get one. But there is something about that Aventador. Don't call it flashy, I don't know, maybe. But that V12, that sound, those aggressive shifts. Some people hate that it's so aggressive in the shifts. I love it. Like,
it was wonderful. It was a magnificent machine.
I would still say it's one of the best things, or if not the best car I've ever driven. Yeah, I mean, not that this isn't. This would take an easy second place, even if it was a point just down. I mean, this car is amazing though. Like, but the Aventador, I think.
You take the Aventador, I'll take one of these. I'll just roll down the street and not have two people on the entire trip look at us versus this dude. He's gonna have the paparazzi. So
the paparazzi behind me. Oh yes.
Well, he has the paparazzi. I'll be about a mile down the road enjoying my machine.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I do appreciate your love and support in these videos. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Thank you for Paul for joining me today. I appreciate it. It's always great when he comes out. Let me know if you want to see this again. Another car, another video, another year. We'll see you all next time, and don't forget, drive safe.
Appreciate you all. Cannot wait for the positive conversation on YouTube. Look out for it. And there we have it. I think we're just about done.
Do you want to turn it off there at the bottom? Now, is that red light on?
Yeah.
Is it recording?